Hi, I'm Natalie, and welcome back to Sacred in Bloom. I am a transformational coach for women, and I create content to empower and uplift women in midlife to help them heal their nervous systems and relationships with themselves and others, and deepen their intuition, self-love, joy, and sense of purpose. If you found me through one of my guided meditations, you should know that I also share other types of content like this, because on my own journey, it took more than meditations to move me through where I was. If you were called to my meditations, we're probably vibing, so I welcome you to stay for a few minutes and see if anything that I'm saying today speaks to you. I think it might. I did a video recently about surrender, and I will link it for you here. But today I want to talk to you about something just a little different, and it's but related. And it's about staying in the liminal. Those in between places where clarity has not yet arrived. Maybe there's a wound that's still tender. You know that you need to make a shift, but you're just not quite there. And maybe it's a recognition of the old ways aren't working, but you haven't quite gotten the new ways all the way figured out. It's that pause between clarity and confusion, between breaking down and rising. It can feel a little bit like holding your breath, waiting, not knowing, wanting answers, and not getting them, or knowing that you need more information to move forward. But the information just isn't quite coming yet. It's waiting for something to fall into place or fall apart and not knowing which it's going to be. There's a real temptation in that space to spiral in your head, right? Try and figure it all out. And, what do I choose? What do I do? What do I not do? What is someone else going to do? And if you're anything like me, you don't like not knowing. It is an open loop in my brain that makes me really uncomfortable. And that discomfort, that pokes us in our old stuff, in our insecurities, our wounds, our self-doubt. And babe, I'm telling you, you're not making your best decisions from that place. You're literally using the wrong part of your brain. When you're in that anxious, in between, unsure of an outcome, trying so hard to figure out what to do or what will happen, think about what that feels like in your body. I'm guessing it's tension. It might be an upset stomach. It's a tightness in your chest or a pit in your gut. It's in your jaw. It's in your lower back, your shoulders, right? Your body's activated. It's on alert, waiting for this outcome, like it's a tiger you think is going to pop out of the forest at you at any moment. You have no chill, and your body is telling you. And when you're in a fear state like this, your amygdala, the fear part of your brain, it is all lit up. It's your brain's alarm system, which is great. If a tiger does pop out, you're ready. But your body is only meant to stay there in that place, that activated place, for a few seconds or minutes at most. And many, many of us are spending days, weeks, months, or even years in that space. And you don't make good long-term decisions from there. When you make decisions from survival, from your fight, flight, freeze, your system is trying to keep you safe. But what you need to understand is that safe isn't necessarily what's going to make you happy. It's just what's familiar. So if what's familiar to you is conflict, trauma, stress, disappointment, whatever is your normal, your nervous system may not actually be protecting you from those things. It may be creating self-sabotage for you to continue to pull those things into your reality. It might be reading someone who's really good for you, or an opportunity for change or growth or help or actual safety as threats. What you want online is your prefrontal cortex. That's the part of your brain that's responsible for planning, for emotional regulation, compassion, your future vision. But when your nervous system is dysregulated, your blood flow is being routed to the amygdala. And that means there's less going to your prefrontal cortex. That means your best decision-making tool is essentially offline. And I'm not telling you this to make you feel bad. I'm telling you this so you can stop judging yourself for struggling to feel clear, for being exhausted, for pushing away help, or whatever hamster wheel you don't feel safe to step off of yet. And so you understand why it's so important to stop catastrophizing and start intentionally regulating yourself, prioritizing calm moments, easing up on your internal dialogue that shits on you and tells you that you can't rest, or that you're a failure, or whatever it is, whatever crappy thing it's telling you. Sometimes you need to get comfortable with the in-between, the unknown. Stop trying to force a solution or force change or a decision when what's actually needed is time and space and moments of stillness. Stop pushing away the gifts the universe is bringing to you just because your fear brain sees them as threats. You're missing out. Let yourself soften into this discomfort, the not knowing, this liminal space, because it's in that space that so much of our healing happens. When I was thinking in the shower this morning about doing this video, the image that I got was about a hen sitting on eggs. It sounded uncomfortable, right? Sitting on a bunch of eggs. But sometimes you just have to sit. You just have to wait. You have to let the mystery unfold in its own time. And you can still run around and do other chicken things, right? They still have to eat. But ultimately, some things just can't be rushed. They need incubation. They need patience and warmth. And that chicken, she isn't judging herself. She's trusting the process. She knows she's not going to sit there forever. Or, I mean, maybe if she's a first-time mom, she thinks she might sit there forever. I don't know. But either way, she honors her intuitive signal for stillness. I talked about divine timing in my surrender video. And I think that applies here too. But sometimes it's about recognizing when it's time to sit on eggs and when it's time to do the active thing. Sometimes it's about recognizing what's happening and doing things when the conditions are right. Now, I am not an astrologer by any stretch of the imagination, and this isn't an astrology channel. But I do think that it helps sometimes to pay attention to kind of the energetic weather, to know when the environment supports certain kinds of things in your life, whether it's your inner work or relationship stuff or making moves in your career. And I'm not telling you to read your daily horoscope. I don't. And you may not be into astrology, and maybe this is starting to give you the ick, but stick with me here for a minute. You don't have to like astrology or be into it, I think, to benefit from this. And it might open up something new for you, okay? So right now, Chiron, which is a celestial body known as the wounded healer, has just gone retrograde. So it looks like it's moving backward in the sky. And Chiron is like a weird cross between an asteroid and a comet. And it represents, in astrology, your deepest wounds and your greatest capacity to heal others through those wounds. In mythology, Chiron was a wise centaur. He was a healer, a teacher, and incidentally an astrologer. And he was wounded in a way that he could never fully heal, even though he was a healer. And that's where the symbolism comes from. So when Chiron goes retrograde, it turns that energy inward. It invites us to revisit our old emotional wounds, not to relive them, not to re-traumatize ourselves, but to relate to them differently, to slow down, to notice the places where we're still stuck in our shame, our self-sabotage, avoidance, and to offer compassion to those parts of us that still get triggered. And when those parts of us get triggered, they run the show. When those parts of us get triggered, if we don't heal those parts of us, if we don't recognize our triggers, if we are running on the autopilot of our old trauma, we are reacting to life from, if that trauma happened to you when you were 6 years old, you might be responding in a relationship from your 6-year-old self. Similar to making decisions from your amygdala instead of your prefrontal cortex. You really want your healed adult self to be driving the bus in your life rather than your 6-year-old self. So this isn't about reopening trauma. It's about reweaving your relationship to it and being more conscious of who is driving the bus. It's doing enough of the work that there is a pause that happens for you where instead of reacting, you get this little sacred pause where you get to choose how you respond. And that's when things really start to shift. But you have to be willing to sit in the discomfort, in that liminal space between starting the work and having it actually start to feel like your new normal. That liminal space is where the wound can finally loosen its grip. It's where your knee-jerk reactions, your armor, your outdated coping strategies have enough space to unravel. So I don't know what day you're watching this, but it's July 30th that I'm recording it. And the retrograde lasts from today, the 30th, through January 2nd of 2026. And that is a long time in liminal space. And it doesn't mean that you need to be sitting in your muck and sitting in your shadows this whole time. It just means that you have an opportunity to do a little bit and do a little bit and do a little bit. And by the time you get to the end of it, you will have made some good progress. So with Chiron retrograding in Aries, the themes that may come up in this period are going to be around identity, your core identity, your autonomy, and so much of our drive for autonomy can be tied into our old traumas. Our need to be hyper independent, our need to, our fears of being consumed in a relationship. A lot of that happens. It's coming from, again, your 6-year-old is driving the bus. And it affects how you show up in so many areas, not just your relationships, right? But anyway, Chiron in Aries also has to do with courage and your ability to move forward when it really matters. Here's the thing, though. You don't have to do the work. You're not obligated to dig through your shit just because the planets are aligned. But the conditions are incredibly supportive right now if you choose to show up. Earlier today, I described this to someone using this metaphor. My grandpa, who has since passed, was a fisherman. He taught me how to fly fish on the river when I was really little. And when I would go out there every summer, we would go fishing frequently. And it's not just about knowing how to hold your rod. It's not just about knowing how to throw your line. It's not just about knowing, what fly to choose. It's about knowing when and where the conditions are best, what time of day, where the water is moving just right, which bugs are out, what the fish are likely to respond to. Can you fish at other times? Of course. You can go out there until your arm gets tired in the middle of winter, right? I don't know if you'll catch a fish. You can go anytime, but it might be harder. It might take longer. And I want you to look at this as kind of the same. You don't have to be working on yourself all the time, and you shouldn't be. That's a trap in itself. But right now, the energetic conditions are right. And it's right in a way that makes it so this doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to force it. You just have to be willing to open yourself to the process and make space for it. Be able to sit in the discomfort. Let the conditions work for you and with you. It's a beautiful, supportive invitation from the universe to let some deep shit go so you can come into the new year feeling lighter and more in alignment and with more ease. And when you're in that place, your relationships are going to work better. You're going to do better in your career. You're going to be manifesting the things that you want. You're going to be able to create in a totally different way. And like I said, it doesn't have to be hard. This can go all the way from weekly therapy, if that's what you feel like you need, to even just journaling a few times a week with more intention towards compassionately examining and releasing old patterns. I mentioned on my channel, I provide guided meditations, and I provide those to you as a gentle way to open things up if you want somewhere to start, because that's something that helped me. I'm also releasing a 90-day nervous system reset course soon. Doing my best to get that up for you guys as a way to help you really gently learn some tools and have some consistent support to help you heal and repattern your old stuff so you can feel more calm and vibrant and resourced in your life. The weather is right, and the invitation is open. So when I do these videos, I do like to leave you with something actionable, because we can talk about this shit all day long and talk about astrology and talk about all the stuff that's like out here in the ether. But it doesn't matter how much we talk about that shit if we're not actually understanding how to apply that in real time, right? So part of why I'm sharing this and why I'm saying it is because I am in liminal space right now of my own. And so I'm sharing with you what I'm doing to get through this weird place of change. And it's not about waiting helplessly, wringing our hands. It's shifting how we relate to ourselves in this in-between space. It's about opening, softening, listening. It's about reconnecting with ourselves and honoring ourselves in a new way. It's about becoming receptive to what wants to emerge within you and around you. So here are a few things that I'm doing that I want to share with you I believe are some gentle ways you can support yourself and shift in this space of receiving. First thing, come back to your body. There's so many ways you can do this. Put a hand on your heart and on your belly. Inhale for 4, hold for 2, and exhale for 6 or 8 if you can do it. It helps to reset your nervous system and convince it that you're not being chased by that tiger. That's something easy. You can do that anywhere. Let each breath become an invitation for you to soften, to receive the moment that you're in. to create space to get out of your amygdala and into your prefrontal cortex so you're making better choices. Do it to let your body know it's okay to relax. It's okay to receive. Move slowly, gently. Give yourself comfort, nourishment, attention. Don't push through burnout or tension. Notice it. Honor your body's messages. Give yourself permission to rest, to shift, to unwind, to release. Make time for being more aware of your body instead of constantly shutting it down. There are lots of ways you can do that. You can do yoga. Anything slow and physical that is going to help you be present in your body. A hot bath, a gentle stroll, even just starting to get comfortable with being still for 5 minutes at a time. 2, reattune to natural rhythms. Get outside and pay attention to the cycles in nature. Every time you look up at the changing moon, remind yourself that things are constantly evolving. Take a walk without your phone. Let your bare feet touch the earth. Notice that flowers don't demand the bees to come to them. They invite them by blooming. They receive light, they receive water. Let nature remind you that your becoming is already in motion. There are times that we have to push to make something happen. There are times that we have to be in that activated state. But you have to be able to balance that with rest, with openness. You have to be able to create space to receive. You have to be able to trust that what you are calling in is already on its way to you. It's like breathing. We have to inhale and exhale. You have to find your rhythm. 3, be present with intention. So choose something and bring your full presence to it, whether that's making yourself a cup of tea and drinking it, whether it's lighting a candle and sitting with it, whether it's, doing your dishes and just being conscious and aware of the feel of the water in your hands, the heaviness of the plates, whatever it is. Be present with your body. Be present with what you're doing. Eat a meal without your phone in your hand. Let yourself really taste it. Enjoy the process of nourishing yourself. Sit with gratitude. Create moments of sacred mindfulness where the ordinary becomes holy. Because sometimes we get in this place of thinking that receiving is just about getting something. And something I've been sitting with is that sometimes it looks like being fully with what already is. It's noticing the good things, the comfort, the beauty that we have already brought into the world through our focus and intention and ability to receive. It's like a reminder, oh yeah, shit, I can do this. I've got this. I have created many beautiful things in my life, and I'm going to continue to do that, and they are going to come in time, and I am safe in this in between. 4, journaling in whatever way supports you. Some people can journal every day for an hour. That is not me. I am lucky if I can sit down and journal for 10 minutes a few times a week. I really try to do it every day. But do as little or as much as you can with compassion for yourself. Use it as a time to gently reflect and witness what's coming up for you in this period. So I'm just going to share with you some of the prompts that I have created for myself that I have been using. And I hope that they serve you. What belief, pattern, or behavior am I being invited through the circumstances of my life to gently process and let go of over the next few months? And that can be big things, small things, maybe a bit of both. Where am I still responding from a wound instead of from my truth and the person who I want to show up as? And what is preventing me from making that shift? What would help me feel more open to letting myself shift into a new way of responding? What part of me is ready to be seen and soothed and supported in a new way? And what could that look like? And how do I practice expressing that need? If I believed healing could happen through softness and ease, what would I allow myself to feel or release right now? This isn't about rushing to resolution. It's about making space for new layers of healing to reveal themselves gently over time. Remember, this is a sacred threshold. So that's 5. Remember, this is a sacred threshold. What if you're not stuck? What if you just can't see the growth that's happening above the surface because the seeds you planted are still growing roots strong enough to hold the growth that's coming? What if you're already doing all the right things and you just need to sit on your eggs a little longer? What if this is the sacred pause right before something new opens for you? You're not broken. You're not being punished. You're being prepared to receive. So stay open. Let go of fear as much as you can. Stop grasping as much as you can. Spend time in sacred mindfulness. Let it be the season where you're healing and the things that you're calling in, that you're creating, that you're nourishing, the eggs you're sitting on, whatever's inside of them. Let them arrive because you were finally in a place where you are willing to receive them, not by force, but through presence and softness and opening to receive. And I want to bring up the chicken again, because sitting on the eggs is still doing something. Sometimes the stillness is part of the becoming. And I just want to close real quick. I like to pull a few either tarot or oracle cards or whatever sometimes at the end of these, just because I feel like it gives a little bit more information. I'm giving the universe an opportunity to kind of like put their 2 cents in. And so I'm just going to do that real quick and then I'll close it up. So I know this is already getting long, but this felt important. So I intended to take 1 card from the Chakra Love deck, and I ended up getting 2. And so I'm just going to trust that there was a reason for that. The first one I pulled is the solar plexus chakra, and it's abundance. The world is abundant when you choose to see it that way. And the second one was the third eye chakra, trust. Trust your intuition. It is in contact with a higher source of knowledge. So I think with abundance, I think that when we're in that liminal space where we're waiting for something to happen, we're waiting for something to come to us, we're waiting for information, we're waiting for progress, we're waiting, we're in this uncomfortable, icky place and that tension. When you're in that place, you're in a place where you're thinking about what's not here yet. You're in a place of thinking of what you don't have, what's not coming. Like, instead of being in a place of recognizing the tremendous amount of abundance the universe is already bringing in for you. We have this part of our brain, I believe it's the default mode network, that looks for things that you are looking for and gives you more of that. You notice more of that. So if I have a client I'm working with, and she started noticing something in her life, but only after we started talking about it. And then she started noticing it was everywhere. And it's so funny how when you're looking for the things that aren't working, you're going to see more of those things that aren't working. When you're looking for all of the things the universe is already giving you. And I talked about that a little bit in the 5 things to do, right? Look at what's already here. Look at the things the universe is already bringing to you, because it is still bringing things to you. It is still bringing you good things, good people, circumstances to support you, people to support you, help. It's bringing them in, but you may be so focused on what's not happening that you're missing it. So, the world is abundant when you choose to see it that way. Shift your focus. The other one is trust. Trust your intuition. So, when we're in that amygdala place, when we're in that fearful place, it is, at least for me, almost impossible for my intuition for me to hear my inner voice, for me to hear my intuition. And I am naturally intuitive. And so I do get a lot of information, but when I'm stressed out, I can't hear shit. And I feel like this came up because, for one thing, trusting the process, trusting yourself, trusting the stillness, trusting the liminal space, trusting that it is part of the becoming. Trust in itself is a good word for this video, I think. But also a recognition that when you soften and allow and create space, you're going to hear more of your higher wisdom. You're going to get more clues. And that is going to help soothe you if you can listen to it. The other thing I did is I pulled a card from the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck. And it's so interesting. The universe did not disappoint. So the card I pulled is Chaos. And it's interesting. This deck is it's new to me, but it's so interesting. And it makes a distinction between the void and chaos. The void is when nothing is happening, and chaos is kind of when everything is happening, and both can be really uncomfortable. But I think both feel like that liminal space, right? And I just want to read you the description of this because I think it's fantastic. And the card meaning, the three words it gives for the card are disoriented, spinning, and groundlessness. And I think that's kind of what we're talking about, right? It's that feeling of not having your feet under you because you don't know what's coming, right? Feeling disoriented by being in this in-between place where you're not who you were, but you're not who you're becoming quite yet. So I just want to read this to you. When an alchemist sits in their laboratory amidst the presence of massa confusa, something miraculous is bound to occur. That's because this card, this state, is so powerful and all-encompassing that it typically overwhelms the student to the point of despair. Such is the nature of chaos. It is the grand trickster, the topsy-turvy confusion that turns life on its head and spins a web not even the wisest mystic can untangle. Baffling? Yes. Disorienting? Yes. But the seasoned alchemist recognizes it as the most potent point in the alchemical experience. Experiment. Wait. Observe. Do nothing. It is destiny itself that spins the web. Clarity will emerge one strand at a time. Your only task is to breathe. Do not struggle. The three fates hold you in their sights as you free fall toward freedom. That's good shit. I hope that you like that as much as I did. So I hope that this whole thing was helpful. I hope I didn't ramble too much. If you want support, staying regulated and resourced during this time, if you're in this place with me, I share extra teachings, journal prompts, and behind-the-scenes reflections every month on my Patreon. You also get ad-free meditations or access to ad-free versions of all of my guided meditations. And that is in my Patreon, which is linked below. And if you're craving structure and deep transformation and you are really ready to lean in, my 90-day nervous system reset course is coming very soon. It is going to be, at first, I will start out with just the self-paced, and we'll add into that. But it's basically a self-paced journey to helping you reconnect with your body, moving you out of survival mode and burnout, and building lasting inner safety, energy, vitality, and emotional clarity from the inside out. So I'll be sharing more details about that soon. And later this week, I will be releasing a brand new throat chakra meditation. I'm really excited about this one. So be sure to subscribe. I don't want you to miss that. And more than anything, just thank you for being here, for walking this path with me, and for being willing to sit in this in-between space with me. Sending you tons of love. We are going to be okay. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.